peace and security of life and property across the nation. The police commanders have been directed to ensure strategic deployment of both overt and covert police operations to ensure adequate security and safety of citizens, foreigners, especially diplomats and diplomatic mission domiciled in Nigeria, as well as the protection of critical national assets. The IGP assured Nigerians and foreigners resident in the country of adequate security and warned all troublemakers to steer clear of the streets and territory of Nigeria. Besides, the Global Action for Peace, GAP, has alerted the USA and Britain to the safety of its citizens in Nigeria following threats of attack by the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN. The Islamic sect had hinted on an impending attack on foreigners after a military action by the United States of America led to the death of top Iranian military general Commander Soleimani in Iran. The presidency on Sunday asked Nigerians not to panic over the withdrawal of 1,200 Chadian troops from the Lake Chad Basin bordering the country. It said the withdrawal was in line with the mandate of the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, launched on July 1, 2016 and due to end on December 31, 2019. It said Nigeria will be sending troops to Chad as part of a new concept against the Boko Haram insurgency. In line with the scope of the Multinational Joint Task Force, the 1,200 troops were recalled on Friday from a part of the northeast. Following this withdrawal, many Nigerians in Borno State started fleeing the areas managed by the Chadian troops. The operation was estimated to have cost the Africa-EU partnership about €50 million and the UK about £5 million. Away from that, the International Criminal Court has said it has extended its preliminary examinations on possible war crimes and crimes against humanity in Nigeria to cover the clashes between Nigerian soldiers and members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria. The ICC is also extending the examination to the clashes between the Nigerian soldiers and a separatist group, the indigenous people of Biafra. The ICC disclosed this in its 2019 edition of the annual report of preliminary examination activities issued by the Office of its prosecutor, headed by Fatou Bensouda. The report dated December 5, 2019 indicated that preliminary examination of the situation in Nigeria was announced on November 18, 2010. It noted that the Office of the ICC Prosecutor on November 12, 2015 identified 8 potential cases involving a commission of crimes against humanity and war crimes under Articles 7 and 8 of the Roman Statutes. The report, which stated that Nigeria was among the countries under Phase 3 examinations by the Office of the Prosecutor, added that its latest updated subject matter assessment had increased the number of potential cases involving Nigeria from 8 to 10. Of the 10 cases now under the ICC preliminary examination, 7 of them are for Boko Haram and 3 for the Nigerian security forces. Now, organized labor, industrialist and civil rights groups on Sunday condemned the hike in electricity tariff by the federal government. Labour has described the electricity tariff hike as a daylight robbery considering the epileptic power supply in the country. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, on its part, berated the federal government for increasing the tariffs and doing nothing about estimated billing by distribution companies. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission had on Saturday directed the 11 electricity distribution companies in the country to increase their tariffs beginning from April. An analysis of the latest Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission directive shows that the federal government agency has actually increased tariffs payable by all the major classes of power consumers. Residential customers in the R3 category under Ikeja Disco, who currently pay 26.5 naira per kilowatt, will start paying 36 naira 49 kobo per kilowatt beginning from April, indicating an increase of 9 naira 99 kobo. Commercial customers in the C3 category under this disco, who currently pay 24 naira 63 kobo per kilowatt, will start paying 38 naira 41 kobo per kilowatt, representing a hike of 13 naira 78 kobo. Industrial customers in the D3 category served by KJ Disco, who pay 25 naira 82 kobo per kilowatts currently, will start paying 38 naira 85 kobo per kilowatts, representing an increase of 13 naira 3 kobo among others. Meanwhile, residential customers of Ibadan, Kano and Port Harcourt Discos are currently paying 29 naira 17 kobo per kilowatts, 24 naira 43 kobo per kilowatts and 27.49 kobo per kilowatts will from April start paying 44 naira 66 kobo per kilowatts and 42 naira 63 kobo per kilowatts and 48 naira 39 kobo per kilowatts respectively. Still in the news, knowing the importance of education, it is the wish of every parent to give his children the best of education. Even when its affordability is not within their reach, parents go extra mile to give their children good education. But for parents who cannot afford quality education for their children, they do with what they could afford for them. As schools set for resumption across the country after long Christmas and New Year vacation, parents and wards are already shopping, trying to meet the needs of their children. Plus TV Africa spoke with Abiso Adepoju, who is an early childhood expert and chief consultant at the school Whisperer, and she shared her view.
They need to check that they have all the supplies that their kids would need for school, so school bags, lunch boxes, things like that. They would also need to make sure that their uniforms, their shoes, their socks, things like that are in place. Their meal timetable, if they're not taking school lunch, have they set out a meal plan for the week? Have they set out what they would eat, what they would take to school? Have they sorted out transportation? Who will drop them, who will pick them up? Have they put plans in place for when the kids are done from school, homework, things like that? Do they have after-school activities? Parents should take time out during the first week of school to go in and talk to the teachers, the school administrator, head of school, just to find out what the curriculum is about for that term, what the children would be learning. They should also have a one-on-one conversation with the teacher. So go over the child's last term report and, pick out areas which you were not happy with and discuss with the teacher that, okay, I feel we can have a bit more improvement in this area, and then work out a plan with the teacher.
She also spoke about the Nigeria education system and what government needs to do.
The government is not doing a lot of things right when it comes to education. Over the past year, I've been opportune to visit a few schools in Lagos State, and the state of these schools are nothing to write home about. First of all, the infrastructure. You can go into a school and you see that the roof is leaking, the classes are not conducive enough for students. The government should provide more trainings for teachers. You can't just employ anybody to be a teacher. I mean, we know that now the cutoff mark to study education in university in Nigeria has dropped significantly, and it shouldn't be so, because teachers have an important role to play. So the government should also give the teachers more resources to teach with, because if they have limited or no resources, there's no way that they can teach effectively and for the children to understand what is being taught.
The news will continue after this very short break. Stay with us. You're watching News on the Hour on Plus TV Africa. A jihadist attack on a military base in Kenya has killed 3 people on Sunday, including a U.S. service member and 2 civilian defense contractors, the American military said. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of our teammates who lost their lives today. General Stephen Townsend, the head of U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, said after jihadists from Somalia's Al-Shabaab group stormed the base in the Lamu region. 2 other Department of Defense personnel were wounded in the attack on Camp Simba, AFRICOM added in a statement which gave no details on the identity of those killed. The Ethiopian parliament late last week approved amendments to the country's controversial anti-terrorist legislation. The new version has more concise language as opposed to the old one, whose wording was criticized as vague by activists and human rights organizations. Prior to April 2018, the government normally used the law to detain and charge activists, journalists, and opposition politicians. The new test also guarantees the right of workers to strike, even if this leads them to obstructing public services, an offense previously considered terrorism. It also grants Parliament powers to identify and ban terrorist organizations, though this section, critics argue, has been used in the past to censor opposition parties. 7 children and 4 women among 14 civilians killed when a roadside bomb blew up their bus in northwestern Burkina Faso, the government said. The provisional toll is 14 dead, a statement said, adding that 19 more people were hurt, 3 of them seriously, on Saturday's blast. The explosion happened in Soro province near the Mali border as students returned to school after the Christmas holidays, a security source said. The vehicle hit a homemade bomb on the Tony Torgan Road. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, but jihadist violence in Burkina Faso has been blamed on combatants linked to both Al-Qaeda and Islamic State groups. Up next is our foreign news. Iraq's parliament called on Sunday for U.S. and other foreign troops to leave as backlash grows against the U.S. killing of a top Iranian general, and President Donald Trump doubled down on threats to target Iranian cultural sites if Tehran retaliates. Deep in a crisis that has heightened fears of a major Middle East conflagration, Iran said it was taking another step back from commitments under a 2015 nuclear deal with 6 major powers. Iran's most prominent general, Qasem Soleimani, was killed on Friday in a U.S. drone strike on his convoy at Baghdad airport, an attack that carried U.S.-Iranian hostilities into uncharted waters. An Iranian government minister denounced Trump as a terrorist in suit after the U.S. president sent a series of Twitter posts on Saturday threatening to hit 52 Iranian sites, including targets important to Iranian culture, if Tehran attacks Americans or U.S. assets to avenge Soleimani's death. Iran has declared that it will no longer abide by any of the restrictions imposed by the 2015 nuclear deal. In a statement, it said it would no longer observe limitations on its capacity for enrichment, the level of enrichment, the stock of enrichment material, or research and development. The announcement followed a meeting of the Iranian cabinet in Tehran. Tensions have been high over the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani by the U.S. in Baghdad. Reports from Baghdad say the U.S. Embassy compound where there was targeted in an attack on Sunday evening. A source told the BBC that 4 rounds of indirect fire had been launched in the direction of the embassy. There were no reports of casualties. We'll move away from that to Germany, where we hear the leaders of Germany, France and Britain on Sunday agreed to work towards bringing about de-escalation of the Middle East amid heightened tensions following the U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian General Soleimani, a German government spokesman said. The Chancellor, the French President and the British Prime Minister agreed to work together to reduce tensions in the region, said a spokesperson, after Germany's Angela Merkel spoke with France's Emmanuel Macron and Britain's Boris Johnson on the phone. 2 Two lawmakers in Venezuela have both declared themselves parliamentary speaker after a tumultuous day in the country's politics. US-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido and rival Luis Parra both claimed to be Speaker of the National Assembly on Sunday. Guaido, who was aiming to be re-elected to the post, said police stopped him from entering parliament. Recall that last January he announced himself Venezuela's interim president, a move that was quickly backed by almost 60 countries, including the US and the UK, after disputing President Nicolas Maduro's 2018 re-election. His position as the head of the opposition-led National Assembly was the basis of his claim to be Venezuela's legitimate head of state. But after a year of failed attempts to oust President Maduro, he has been struggling to maintain unity among the opposition. Up next is our business news. Power distribution companies have set a new record of 466 billion naira in their yearly revenue collection, the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors has said. ENED, which is the umbrella body for all the DISCOs, said the revenue collection rose by 10%. The DISCOs collected a total of 466 billion from customers from October 2018 to September 2019, compared to the 423 billion naira collected from October 2017 to September 2018. DISCOs have reduced their ATC losses from 22.5% in June 2017 to 19.1% in September 2019, according to the report. Still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is a roundup on entertainment and sports. We're back in a moment. And in entertainment, Ellen DeGeneres, the stand-up comedian who broke barriers to gays to become one of the most popular people on television, received a Golden Globes Lifetime Achievement Award on Sunday. DeGeneres was the second person to be given the Carol Burnett Award, which was established by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association a year ago to recognize the new golden age of television in the United States. DeGeneres said she was especially gratified by viewers who watched her current talk show and were then inspired to encourage and support people in their own lives. That's it on entertainment. Sports news comes on after this break. Stay with us. Nigeria winger Harry Onyekuru has joined Turkish Super League champions Galatasaray on a 6-month loan deal from French club AS Monaco. Onyekuru spent last season on loan with the Fatih Terim's men and scored 14 goals in 31 league appearances. Galatasaray failed in their bid to sign the Nigerian international on a permanent deal last summer, and instead he linked up with Monaco for £12.5 million. He, however, failed to secure regular playing time at Monaco, making just 4 league appearances. Onyekuru will wear jersey number 40 at the club. Great Britain avoided an early exit at the Association of Tennis Professional Cup as Jamie Murray and Joe Salisbury won the decisive doubles to clinch a comeback victory over Belgium. After Britain lost to Bulgaria in their opening tie on Friday, the team would have been eliminated from the inaugural 24-nation tournament if Murray and Salisbury lost their rubber against Gill and Vliegen. With the tie locked at 1-1 and a defeat ending Britain's hopes of reaching the quarterfinals, Murray and Salisbury won 6-3, 7-6 against Belgian pair. Dan Evans kept the British bid alive by beating world number 11 David Goffin That came after Cameron Norrie lost in 2 sets to veteran Steve Dassis. That's it in sports, and wrap things up at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel that is also at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines, so please join us again. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
I still make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IU.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi, like,
Sleeping early.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
This Medan has been directed to empower 1,000 persons with disabilities in each state in the next 12 months.
We now start hearing the shoot of gun.
Whatever I've done
Every public policy has winners and losers, and some will not be very happy with you, while others, usually the silent majority, will be quite happy.
First point of accountability is asking questions.
Hello and welcome to Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
Hi everyone, welcome to Plus Training.
You cannot continue to recycle poverty while you're spending a lot of money on unproductive ventures.
The government has to feel the impact.
Honorable Commissioner, sir, welcome to the show.
A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Off the Press on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike. As always, I'm never alone. I have someone to help make sense of the headlines this morning. He's a legal practitioner. His name is Daniel Udugbe. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I hope you had a good holiday.
Absolutely.
This is the first time we're seeing this year.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll start with the Punch. We have the Vanguard, The Nation this day, and a bit of sports if we have time. We will do that. Let's start with what's here. Electricity tariff hike. It's daylight robbery, Labour orders tell federal government. That's the screamer on the front page. If you've been following the news or you followed the news moments ago, you would have seen that story or listened to it a bit. There are a couple of riders to it too. Consumers would be vulnerable if review is not holistic. LCCI. Despite tariff increase, federal government to fund 545 billion naira shortfall. There are other headlines. The Department of Petroleum Resources official and others at the scene of the Kaduna gas explosion. That was a sad one. 3 persons, I understand, died at the scene. May they all rest in peace. Iranian general's killing is also here. IG places police on red alert. Owners of unregistered vehicles in Lagos risk prosecution. I saw that press release from Elkanah, that's the PRO of the police here in Lagos. Saraki Dogara gets severance package, aids lament. Christians are severely persecuted in Nigeria. Khan backs U.S. Pencom plans pension bond to clear 400 billion naira arrears. Pick your successor, Pastor Bakare urges Buhari. That's an interesting one. Something on extortion this morning. CJ and his own show, Sunny says, ex-lawmaker a liar. That's for you. ICC, it extends war crime probe to army, Shiites, IPOB clashes. And then on the back page, we have a plea for economic development planning. This is from Obadiah. Let's see. Let's start with this one that's in our faces. We woke up to the news on Saturday, tariff hike, and a lot of persons. What's your reaction to it based on this headline this morning?
I will not be quick to say that. I will not be quick to call it a daylight robbery. The truth is, majority of Nigerians, or a good number of Nigerians, understand that the coined tariff is not sustainable. we say it is not cost reflective. We all know that we are not paying enough for it in the sense of, you look at what it costs to bring it to us. We know that. But basically the problem I have with what has been done is the how. And I really align myself with the position of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry that, look, the problem of the power sector is so multifaceted that you cannot just run to the quick fix of increasing tariff. Again, government needs to lead by example. The MDS are one of the Ministry and Departments and agencies of government are one of the biggest debt holders in Nigeria as we speak, in terms of not paying what is due to them and what is due to discos and the entire value chain. So the problem basically for me is the approach. You cannot. Increasing the tariff will not solve the problems in the sector. What Nigerians are interested, Nigerians know that they have to pay more at some point. But what they expect is that, look, there needs to be development, progress in other indices. The issue of, there are several issues, I can't even start recounting them, in the sector that needs to be addressed, and you're not addressing them, and you're just focusing on them, because that seems to be the obvious thing to do. And we and you know that even with the increments in the tariff, the problems remain, unsolved. The problem of AT and C losses, the problem of the grids, the issue of investment in sector, so many multiple issues that you need to address holistically, so that, because whether you like it or not, Nigerians are reasonable people. They want to enjoy better power, but you cannot come and just increase it, and they know that for certain that the result will not be effective, will not be immediate, not anytime in the future. So what we need in the power sector is seriousness of purpose, a holistic approach in tackling the challenges, and we know that at some point it will lead to increment in size. Nigerians don't mind. There are places in this nation where people pay very high for power, and they have stable, people generate their own power. So as long as you can convince them, because it's true that when you have generator, you are an independent generator. That's what it means. So Nigerians are not against paying against income.
It's just it must reflect in the service that they get.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's look at all the headlines here. These red alert by the IG over the Iranian, how does that really affect us?
It's obvious, Iran is the most developed Sunni country in the world, and Shiite, to say, and we have a good number. Right now in the nation, there's been history, historically speaking, they've allegedly been persecuted in a sense, So it only makes sense. I think it's the obvious. It's just stating the obvious that there may be some activities that might be detrimental to, that might amount to a breach of peace. So I think it's a step in the right direction. We don't want. This is not exactly our business to. I know that we need to be sensitive. The world is becoming a global village and what have you. But at the same time, we have our own challenges. We don't want to start getting involved in all of these things. So I just hope that the faithfuls of this sect of Islam will just understand. And we have so much to deal with as a nation. So I think it's a step in the right direction. The police, it is even stating the obvious if you ask me. Everybody knows that they want to do one or two things, and I hope that Nigerians will be more alert, will cooperate with the security agencies, and that we'll have peace.
Join APC, get 2023 presidency, Ngige tells Igbos. Details of that is on page 18 of the paper if you would like to go and take a look at it. Did you read it?
I did not read it, but it's just hilarious. This kind of approach will not get us anywhere. Trying to whip up sentiments, it does not work.
No, but if you connect it with the one on page 16 that says, pick your successor, Pastor Bakare urges Buhari. Let's talk on the two.
I know that very hilarious statement. I'm wondering what a respected statesman in the mode of Pastor Bakare is thinking by making. I understand that he has an ambition too, but we all know that it is against the essence of democracy, because it is not for the president to pick his successor, it's for the people. So that is, for me, that's like suggesting that the president should have a way, because it's not up to him to pick. Are you suggesting that he should manipulate the process and he should read the influence? We are saying that we don't want that to continue. We are saying that we want an end to that, and then somebody is saying that the president should pick his successor. I think it's a very unfortunate statement if you ask me. It's just totally uncomfortable.
All right, that's for the punch. Let's see what the Vanguard is telling us today. The issue of Serap asking Buhari is on the front page to publish their assets, the president and the VP. That should be on your screen right now. You find details on page 10 of the paper. And the big picture here this morning is how FG states LGs and others shared 8.1 trillion naira in 2019. There's a graphic breakdown for you on the front page. Planned electricity tariff hike, MAN, LCCI, JAF, PDP, others kick. That's also on the front page of the paper this morning. Tension rises as US-Iran face-off escalates. We also have Budget 2020, FG to spend 67 billion naira on rail line from Kanu to Niger Republic, others. If we go to the top of the paper, you see something on business, I think. CEOs, analysts foresee a challenging year amidst opportunities for growth. And then we have something, Rwani, we have factors that will determine Nigeria's economy in 2020. He did talk about how income is going to shrink at some point. I had to go ask our business correspondent to explain it to me, because it can't be shrinking in this economy. You want people to die? All right, on the back page of the Vanguard newspaper, we have sports stories, but we'll get to that in a bit. Let's just get Daniel's thought on these headlines on the Vanguard. Which one would you want to speak on first?
The one that really jumps to me is the
Serap asking Buhari.
Yes. I mean, it's just unfortunate that, you know, an administration that prides itself in fighting corruption. I mean, I can't start recounting the number of persons who, you know, have had issues or who have been, I don't want to use the word victimized by this administration for, you know, let me use the word atrocity related to declaration of assets. For that same, you know, administration, for the number one, number two persons not to, you know, accede to the request to make public that it's just, I mean, and it's obvious. I mean,
but some would argue that the first thing is to declare the asset. The CCB would have received it. Making it public is another kettle of fish entirely.
What's the essence of declaring it if it's not for it to get the public domain? Is it up to the CCB to what's the word, to, I did the watchdog? They are just another agency, for God's sake. What is the impact? What is the essence? What's the spirit behind that requirement in our laws for asset declaration? Is it for a particular agency of government to just find out about it and then forget about it? No, the essence is to ensure accountability and transparency. You cannot have that when it is not available to the public, when the public cannot ask questions and say, okay, there's been an increment, what's the position right now? It is ridiculous to just you know, because I've heard the argument many times that, oh, we declare to the Code of Conduct Tribunal, and I mean, and that's it, you know, and that's just not it. It doesn't end there. They need to make it public. That is what we meet the need of transparency and accountability, and that's what we really need. And it's just interesting for me. That's, you know,
I don't know how I missed this one. Kwara government didn't demolish late Senator Olushola's property. That's committee chair Ile Arugbo. That was a controversial issue last week. It was headlines everywhere. I don't know if you took a minute to look at it, but it's really interesting. If you haven't, please go take a look at this headline and catch up on the whole situation with the property of the late father of the former Senate President Bukola Saraki.
I just hope that, you know, and this issue has been on and on in different modes, you know, allegations and counter-allegations of people using their influence in being the corridor of power to do all kinds of things. I just hope that, you know, we've had so many cases, and people need to understand that, look, public power is something to be respected. The laws are clear on how to use it. You shouldn't victimize people for being in any particular, you know.
No prosperity in view for 2020. That's it. That's really details of 2026. If you would read it, I'm not reading it. But if you want to get that particular story, How can no prosperity? Yeah? Maybe we should read it so we know what not to do. But what's your take on this caption, quickly?
Generally, you know, the indices have not been, they're not looking good. You know, the consumers are on the receiving end of several. Look at the price hike in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, the case of the banks that have reduced the charges, that some would say that's a good thing.
In the newspaper review, you will come across where what the banks are now doing is to adjust their ATM machines such that, you know, where you can now, you know, withdraw 20,000 before, you now have to withdraw 10,000 and 5,000, so that you have to just keep, you know, they are just adjusting all kind of things to ensure that they make, and I won't blame them, they're business people, so I will not be very excited about that. How much is that anyways, you know?
Well, I hope the CBN will put measures in place to forestall such shenanigans.
Nigerians have been on receiving on so many unfortunate, you know.
All right, let's move on to the Nation newspaper now. The big one here is outrage as Disco set for cost-reflective power tariffs. We've taken a look at that extensively from the Punch newspaper. We also have Bakare admonishes Buhari on secession, Kwara government to seize more houses. How Kaduna gas explosion killed Prof. Don dies in barber's shop. Quite a sad one. Chaos as fire races oil market. One killed in mayhem. Exhumed last student's body for reburial. Interment tomorrow. So rest in peace. Let's see what's Southwest governors, security chiefs to meet over Amotekun. Boko Haram presidency allays fears over Chadian troops withdrawal, and on the back page we have the situation with Saraki captured there. So if you want to go read it, please go grab a copy of the paper and read up this person's thoughts on Saraki's sour grapes. Hardball is also here. Practice what you preach. Your thoughts, please.
One that really jumps at me is the move by the Southwest governors. I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it. It's high time that, you know, they start becoming proactive. You know, I've always said that the issue of security is not one to just cross your, and right now the law as it is does not totally allow it, you know, because we still have, you know, the issue of policing being a federal matter and all of that. But I'm happy that in their own little way, I don't know, I've not seen the details of this Amotekun move, but I hope it really works, and I hope that it gets the backing it deserves from the government. The issue of security cannot be left in the hand of the government alone. I am of the view that it needs to be one of those issues that that states are allowed to, you know, take care, because of course we all know of the issue of community policing. You know, for it to effectively police, it has to be something that is homegrown, that is local, and all of it. So I'm excited about it. They are moving. I think they have a meeting today or tomorrow. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to their
deliberations. What's your take on the situation? The building, I saw a picture of the location where this gas explosion occurred. Should a gas plant be in such a building, in compact space, as we saw in the pictures online?
It's really unfortunate. My argument is that gas has come to stay. But what we need to do as a people, as a nation, is to put the safety measures. We have a very poor record in terms of enforcing safety measures. Gas should never issue. I mean, it is the ABC, it's the basic of you know, use of gas, that you don't allow, you don't concentrate it in an enclosed environment. You want it to be in a place where, you know, because it has come to stay. As a people, we have more gas than even oil. You know, so it has just come to stay in terms of powering the multifaceted use. However, the safety standard needs to be enforced. Nigerians need to, you know, they shouldn't see that something that's just against them and all that. They need to embrace it. It has come to stay. We need to be very conscious of the safety standard, and we need to enforce and couple with the regulatory agencies.
All right, let's jump to this day newspaper, and there's quite an interesting headline. We're ready to take over security from military in volatile state, says police. Soldiers have no business in internal security, said expert. Chad withdraws troops as insurgents intensify attacks. That's also on the front page of this day newspaper. Lagos setting others high cost of role for telecom infrastructure. Banks reconfigure ATMs to beat CBN's reduction of charges. You probably saw this before now. CBN vows to investigate sharp practice. We also have FD to underwrite 544.8 billion naira electricity tariffs shortfall. Banks, why would they do that? It's our money. We're giving them to safekeep. They should be grateful and not find ways to exploit us.
They're giving them to safekeep for us at a cost. They just want to maximize that cost as much as possible and make the maximum gains. I'm not trying to make excuses for them. It's unfortunately it's not acceptable. I hope the CBN does the needful to investigate, and
they should do more than investigate. We should get to the bottom of it and make sure any bank that is caught is punished severely. It's an unfair thing to do. All right, which other headline do you want to take on?
Ordinarily, I should be excited, but right now, the police is understaffed. We all know that. And then they are making this statement that they're ready to take over security posts that have to be left vacant by the military. I'm not over the moon over that news, because they are currently understaffed. Do they have the necessary firepower? Do they have the necessary equipment? These are the basic issues that needs addressed. The issue of banditry, the issue of kidnapping is still going unabated, and they're saying this. And if you look at the issue of child withdrawal as well, and it's that it's part and parcel of the arrangement. That's the multinational joint tax force, what have you. I just hope I'm excited as well, because right now our security agencies are overstretched. And now all the defense headquarters is telling us that we should not worry that, But
what about the arguments that soldiers have no business in internal security? Because we do know that just recently, that show something about identify yourself, a recent move by the soldiers. People complained about it.
Indeed, that's correct. Indeed, soldiers in civilized climes do not have any business with internal security. However, ours is a peculiar situation.
But if they don't try, how will we make that change of having soldiers out on the streets, out of our streets and police instead? We're not ready for that.
That's not even my point. I guess so. Maybe you're right. But my point is, this is not a laboratory test. It's not for them to now start and say, oh, let's see if we are ready. Let's take charge. If they're not capable, don't joke with the lives of people. They need to get more people incorporated into the police system. They need to be equipped. Those are the issues. We should not just try and say, oh, let's see. Let's just leave it for them. If they can't do a good job, we shouldn't allow them to do it. Security is so fundamental. So that's the number one duty of government, which should be taken with seriousness. I think that's my opinion, really.
All right, on the back page of this day newspaper, we have edifying elucidation. Today, the headline is "The Science in the Sky." There's a picture of the Minister of Science and Technology. What's the connection? You might want to go take a look at it. And so just take a quick look at the back of the front page of the sports newspaper. That's Complete Sports, and then a quick glance at Vanguard Sports if we have a little more time. On the front page of the Complete Sports, we have Osimhen Amunike's "The Key to My Success." Who is speaking? Osimhen speaking. And then Eagles Euro Roundup. Chukwueze makes 30th La Liga start. Iheanacho denied chance to make FA Cup history. Onyekuru to earn 262 million naira in 6 months. That's a lot of money. Not for sale. Chelsea, Arsenal told Alaba Boateng are going nowhere. Records Messi Ronaldo can break in 2020 inside the pages of the Complete Sports. And on the back page of the Vanguard, we have some story. CAF Awards, Salah eyes a hat trick on home soil. That's on the front page, on the back page of the Vanguard. And then we have Nigerian agent demand 19.5 billion naira from Chelsea. That's Sanko. I guess that's where we're going to wrap things up this morning on the newspaper review. We want to thank our guest very kindly for coming on the program this morning, legal practitioner Daniel Odukpe. Pleasure to have you join us. Look forward to more times here on Off the Press, and thank you for watching. That's it. Thanks for your time again. Do enjoy the rest of your morning. May the week be good to you.
Mona Lisa is all about me. It's all about you. It's all about our stories. The stories that never get told, but ought to.
Whereby water transportation does not make financial sense, it makes economic sense.
I was there for 2.5 hours on the floor. Nobody attended to me.
If we don't take care of the poor will take care of us.
It's about getting at the root of things and hearing from the horse's mouth.
We are 15 public hospitals to make them affordable. In the whole of Africa, we are bigger. You know, Nigeria, we sleep, eat, dream, fashion.
Those with the financial backing don't see fashion as an investment, which makes no sense.
If they do it for free, they won't have money for the next case.
Mona Lisa is about real life and real lives, yours and mine. Make a date with Mona Lisa, and together, let's ensure that the important stories get told.
Country people, we dey thank una one that joined us on top News on the Hour for Plus TV Africa.
This na number 63 Massey Street for Itafaji, where building just collapsed by 10 a.m. this morning.
They say the Oga of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, don't tell federal government say if they provoke him, it go cause wahala for inside the country.
Because if the British citizen no be say you go enter Nigeria, come cause kasala, run go Britain, go stay in peace.
Them say na the diesel truck catch fire as they try offload the diesel way dey inside. Come out, fire department come try quench the fire.
For the first time for Nigeria, every go enjoy television news for Ogbonge Pidgin English.
For more tori, make una kukuma follow us at Plus TV Africa on top Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Make una subscribe to our YouTube page and for Star Times on channel 308.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like Alibaba now?
And Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
Still make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IU.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi, like,
sleeping early.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
That morning, you shoot every person that we know can shoot. We don't let people die there.
You could have killed me for a long period of time.
Is that time why I carry gonorrhea? I first go hospital first, but it no go. Now I come make that mama.
He just pulled it, he pointed and shot.
What is the soul of a man?
They suffer too much. They suffer too much.
Issues around the Nigerian police, we have to tackle it holistically.
Hear the stories making the headlines.
Like the Coastal Fellowship of Nigeria.
I'm here at Yunus Bashoru Street, where
the fire destroyed our transformer complete castle.
to the lowest level that you can.
Plus TV Africa, the big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
All right, country people, greeting at top this very o'clock. When we join us for news of the hour for Plus TV Africa. This is not the time when I want to give my name and I promise. Nero. They say they don't tell God President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. May they talk with they get as they take their asset declaration forms. When say the summit give the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, for one freedom of information request. When say the Social Economic Right and Accountability Project, SERAP, saying go meet the presidency. And they say they seated the 36 state governors and their deputies, may they use their good offices to clarify within 7 days say they received the request. As SERAP TikTok, the FOL request a date when they put for 3rd January 2020. And when say the Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, signed, he talks say the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 has amended the FOL Act and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Talks say may all public officials talk with they get, give every. They say a day as they take declare them before now. The People's Democratic Party PDP don't talk say Oga President Muhammadu Buhari a year for overseas treatment say now for himself and he raised public matter for high level of carry-do for governance. The PDP say hospitals for treatment and even check-ups say they want as PDP National Publicity Secretary Kola Olagbode on Sunday they say the administrator of Oga President Buhari don't fail to give better health care for the country. I say no fit turn back to preach to other citizens against foreign treatments. The party shook mouth for the public allocation for the healthcare since the APC take over administrate for the country. When we say that they say the 427.3 billion naira, when we say they put for the 2020 budget, it no fit meet the needs of over 186 million Nigeria people. Pastor Tunde Bakare, when we say he gets Citadel Global Church, yesterday don't young give Oga President Muhammadu Buhari, make it do new waka and build a bonge name, when we say go bring one better Nigeria. He said to bring strong leadership, now we to go bring work of the nation building and to touchlight all the energies of the state, enter one of bonge areas, and go make the president first agenda at Tandagriba for the next 3 years of his administrate. Bakare said to give strong leadership means say that they bring better result of better governance. When we say people, policies, program and process of government could bring better for the productivity for the country. He talked this one for in 2020 State of the Nation when we say they call Show the True Enemies of Nigeria for the church headquarters inside Ogba, Lagos. They said Inspector General of Police IGP Mohammed Adamu yesterday, he don't place police command and formations nationwide for red alert. He said they do the work after intelligence report shows say some domestic interests, they plan to do big public disturbance and scatter. The move show face as the United States of America, USA, take kill Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, and they say they don't tell the zonal AIGs and command commissioners of police, may they do better torchlighting and security of life and property across the nation. He said they don't tell the police commanders, may they carry both overt and covert police operative to say better security and safety of citizens, foreigners, especially diplomat and diplomatic missions. When say that the Nigerians say may they still protect the Ogbonge national assets. The IGP don't tell Nigerian people and foreigners when say that they stay the country say better security a good day, and also the summer won't give all the troublemakers to rock above from the street and area of Nigeria. They say the Global Action for Peace, GAP, don't tell the USA and Britain, may they do work out the safety of their citizens for Nigeria because of the threat of when say the Islamic movement of Nigeria, IMN, they plan. The Islamic joint body don't say they won't begin foreigners after one military action waka, when say Bodo United States of America do when they make one of their top Iranian military commander, General Qasem Soleimani, die for Iran. The president on Sunday tell Nigerian people make them no fear for the withdrawal of the 1,200 Chadian troops from the Lake Chad Basin, when say they for the border of the country. They say the withdrawal they in line with the mandate of the Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF, when we say they launched on July 1st, 2016, and we say they end on December 31st, 2019. They say Nigeria go they send troops go Chad as part of one new concept against the Boko Haram insurgency, in line with the scope of the Multinational Joint Task Force, and they call back the 1,200 troops on Friday from one part of the northeast. Because of their withdrawal, plenty Nigerian people for Borno State don't start to run come up from the areas where we say the Chadian troops they manage. They say the operation don't cost Africa EU collabo about 50 million euro and the UK about £5 million. The International Criminal Court don't say they don't carry their work out for possible war crimes and crimes against humanity for Nigeria to cover gbege between Nigeria soldiers and members of the Islamic movement for Nigeria. The ICC still they carry the work out of the gbege between the Nigeria soldiers and one separatist group when we say the indigenous people of Biafra for head. The ICC I throw away this year for the 2019 edition of the every year report of the Waka, when we say the office of their prosecutor, when Fatou Basuda stand as Oga, they do. The report when they say day for December 5th, 2019, it shows say they talk the Waka of Nigeria for November 18, 2010. And I say the office of the ICC prosecutor on November 12, 2015 show it to Bonge matter when say concern the commission of crimes against humanity and war crimes under Article 7 of 8 of the Rome Statutes. The report when say shows say Nigeria day among the countries under phase 3 examination of the office of the prosecutor. It add their latest updates when say they call subject matter assessment. And I say it don't carry the number of matter when say involve Nigeria from 8 go 10. For the 10 matter when we say don't they under the ICC examination, 7 of them now Boko Haram and 3 are for Nigeria security forces. To know the importance of education, that the wish of every parent to give their pikin for the best of education. Even when we say they don't pay parents, even though they don't pay, parents they work hard to give their pikin good educate. But for papa and mama them, when we say they don't give their pikin quality educate, that they use what they get to give their pikin them. As schools they are ready to start again for the country, after the long Christmas and New Year holiday, papa and mama them, that they do shopping for their pikin. Plus TV Africa yarn with Abiso Adepoju, when we say be sabi person for pikin matter and chief consultant.
They need to check that they have all the supplies that their kids would need for school. So school bags, lunch boxes, things like that. They would also need to make sure that their uniforms, their shoes, their socks, things like that are in place. Their meal timetable, if they're not taking school lunch, have they set out a meal plan for the week? Have they set out what they would eat, what they would take to school? Have they sorted out transportation? Who will drop them, who will pick them up? Have they put plans in place for when the kids are done from school, homework, things like that? Do they have after-school activities? Parents should take time out during the first week of school to go in and talk to the teachers, the school administrator, head of school, just to find out what the curriculum is about for that term, what the children would be learning. They should also have a one-on-one conversation with the teacher. So go over the child's last term report and, pick out areas which you were not happy with and discuss with the teacher that, okay, I feel we can have a bit more improvements in this area, and then work out a plan with the teacher.
And she's still young for how the Nigerian education system take there and what the government need to do.
The government is not doing a lot of things right when it comes to education. Over the past year, I've been opportune to visit a few schools in Lagos State, and the state of these schools are nothing to write home about. First of all, the infrastructure. You can go into a school and you see that the roof is leaking. The classes are not conducive enough for students. The government should provide more trainings for teachers. You can't just employ anybody to be a teacher. I mean, we know that now the cutoff mark to study education in university in Nigeria has dropped significantly, and it shouldn't be so, because teachers have an important role to play. So the government should also give the teachers more resources to teach with, because if they have limited or no resources, there's no way that they can teach effectively and for the children to understand what is being taught.
All right, the news will continue after the chicken break. We'll not go anywhere. The American military talk say they don't kill 3 people for one jihadist brigade when say happen for one military base inside Kenya on Sunday, when one U.S. service member and 2 civilian defense contractors take join body. General Stephen Townsend, he sent the organ of the U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, talk after jihadists from Somalia Al-Shabaab group, when say they show the base inside the Lamu region, say their prayers they with the families and friends of their teammates when say they lost their lives today. AFRICOM say 2 other Department of Defense people wound for the brigade for the camp, Simba, and they not talk the people when they say they kill. The Ethiopian parliament late last week approved amendment for the country anti-terrorist legislation. The new version get better language past the old one, when say activists and human rights joint body say the wording not follow. As it concerned the one of April 2018, the government they used the law to lock and charge activists, journalists, and opposition politicians. The new text give right for workers to strike, even if this one make their cause kasala for public services. When say be one offense, when say that we see as terrorism. It still give parliament powers to identify and ban terrorist joint body for this section. They don't use what people talk for the past to censor opposition party there. The government says 7 Pekin and 4 women, they are among 14 civilians when say they kill when say one roadside bomb take blow their boss inside northwestern Burkina Faso. They say now 14 people die and say 19 more people wound, and 3 of them matter serious for Saturday blast. One security person say the explosion happened inside Sero province near the Mali border as students in Shobag go school after the Christmas holidays. The motor hit one homemade bomb for the 20 Togan road. Nobody does say that they do the waka, but they don't somehow blame for jihadists of Burkina Faso head. Saying that they do the big website linked to both Al-Qaeda and Islamic State groups. The next one, foreign news. They say they don't call Iraq parliament on Sunday for U.S. and other foreign troops to come out as Wala, that they plenty against the U.S. When say they kill one top Iranian general and Oga President Donald Trump, that they ginger for threat to target Iranian cultural site if Tehran do anyhow. Because of the big we say don't put fear for the Ogbonge Middle East Wahala, Iran does say that they take another step back from the commitment under one 2015 nuclear deal with 6 major powers. They killed Iran Ogbonge General Qasem Soleimani on Friday for one U.S. drone strike when say go hitting convoy for Baghdad airport. When say be one attack when say carry U.S.-Iranian hostilities enter another palaver. One Iranian government minister is somehow accused for Trump had say now terrorists when say we quote after the U.S. president sent plenty Twitter posts on Saturday as he threatened to hit 52 Iranian sites when say target better area of Iranian culture if Tehran began Americans or U.S. asset to fight back as Soleimani don't die. Iran don't declare say they're not going to follow any of the waka when say the 2015 nuclear deal put for their head to stop them. For 1 year needs, they say they no go observe fully hand for enrichment, and the level of enrichment, the stock of enriched material, or research and develop. The announcement follow one meeting of the Iranian cabinet inside Tehran. Tension don't dey high as US kill Iranian General Qasem Soleimani inside Baghdad. Report from Baghdad say they target the US embassy compound on Sunday evening. One person tell the BBC say they don't launch 4 rounds of indirect fire go the direction of the embassy, but no report of say person die, it don't dey. One German government talk man, he said the Oga of Germany, France, and Britain on Sunday don't agree say they go work to stop the palaver for the Middle East when say they take get high tension because of the US drone strike when say Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. The talk man say the Chancellor, the French President, and the British Prime Minister don't agree to work together to reduce tension for the region. After Germany, Angela Merkel yarn with France, Emmanuel Macron, and Britain, Boris Johnson for phone. 2 lawmakers inside Venezuela don't declare themselves as parliamentary speaker after one wahala day for the country politics. US-backed opposition Oga Juan Guaido and rivals Luis Parra don't claim say they be Speaker of the National Assembly on Sunday. Guaido want to say they look say they go re-elect him for the post. He said police stop him, make him not enter parliament. Remember say last January, Guaido called himself Venezuela president. When we say one move, when we say they backed by almost 60 countries when the US and UK joined after Chihuahua President Nicolas Maduro 2018 re-election. In position for the head of the opposition led the National Assembly, now the grand one say take claim say he be Venezuela Oga of state. But after 1 year of waka to pursue Oga President Maduro come out from share, he done the struggle to maintain unity among the opposition. The next one, now our business news. Onto business, they say organized labor industrialist and civil rights joint body on Sunday. He say when we say the federal government then take carry electricity money go up, say the thing don't make sense. Labor do they won't cry for the electricity money when we say go up as daylight robbery as the reason the poor power supply for the country. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry for their part, para for the federal government say they carry the money of light go up and they not they do anything for the plenty bill when we say that the distribution companies they give people to pay. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission be done on Saturday tell the 11 electricity distribution the companies for the country, but they carry their light money go up from April. One torchlighting of the latest Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, it shows that the federal government don't join body and don't carry the money of light when so the major class of powers consumers go up. Customers for RO3 category under Ikeja Disco, when say that they pay 26.5 naira per kilowatt, go start to pay 36.45 per kilowatt, starting from April. When say it should say it go up with 9.99 naira. Commercial customers for C3 category under this disco, when say that they pay 24.63 naira per kilowatt, go start to pay 38.41 naira per kilowatt. When say stand for the one when say take go up, go 13.78 naira. Industrial customers for D3 category when say Ikeja Disco they serve, when say that they pay 25.82 naira per kilowatt, and now go start to pay 38.85 naira per kilowatt. When say stand for the one when say that they carry and go up with 13.03 naira with orders. Meanwhile, customers for Ibadan, Kano, and Port Harcourt Discos, when say that they pay 29.17 naira per kilowatt, 24.43 naira per kilowatt, and 27.49 naira per kilowatt, go start to pay 44.66 naira per kilowatt, 42.63 naira per kilowatt, and 48.39 naira per kilowatt from April as it is hot. All right, still ahead on Top Plus TV Africa is our roundup for entertainment and sport. With the show back.
Far away in a foreign land, they have embarked on a new adventure. What challenges will they confront? What pleasures will they experience?
Is to be the best in this competition because I really want to show the African how beautiful they are. Amazing!
A brand new life with all possibilities. Nigerians in China on StarTimes.nkoa.
On to entertainment, they say Ellen DeGeneres, the stand-up comedian who say make plenty people know gay people, as one of the most popular people for television, received one Golden Globes Lifetime Achievement Award on Sunday. DeGeneres is the second person when say they will give the Carol Burnett Award. When say the Hollywood Foreign Press joint body do 1 year when say don't pass to make people know the new golden age of television for the United States. DeGeneres say they're happy for the people when say that they watch a new talk show and when say the show called Ginger and also she support people for their own lifetime. All right, that one for entertainment. The next one now for sport.
I actually moved back to Nigeria to open a bakery. This was my goal, and everything I did up till this point was in preparation for this. First of all, life was great because I moved in 2015 right before the recession, right? It was awesome. I was like, wow, there's so much money out here, man. The cost of overheads, power generation, water, you have to be your own local government. And there are no tax breaks. Many places where, where they realize the small business environment is difficult would offer some kind of tax breaks and incentives. We don't do that out here. We want you to come back. We want you to, to start businesses here, but we're not going to do anything to help you. All my experiences in the past have led me ultimately to where I am now.
And on the sport, they say Nigeria winger Henry Onyekuru, he don't join Turkish Super League champions Galatasaray for one 6-month loan deal from French club AS Monaco. Onyekuru spent last season for loan with Fatah Terim. Men who say he scored 14 goals for 31 league appearances. Galatasaray, he failed for their bid to sign the Nigerian international for one permanent deal last summer, and instead a link up with Monaco for £12.5 million. He can't fail to secure regular play time for the Monaco when say make just 4 league appearances there. Onyekuru could wear number 40 jersey for the club. Great Britain come up body from one early waka for the joint body of tennis professional cup as Jamie Murray and Joe Salisbury win the decisive doubles to get one comeback win for Belgium head. After Britain lost to Bulgaria for their opening tie on Friday, they could not come out the team from the inaugural 24-nation tournament if Murray and Salisbury lost their rubber against Gill and Vliegen. With the time when we say they don't lock for 1-1 and 1 win when we say end Britain hopes to reach the quarterfinals, Murray and Salisbury win 6-3, 7-6 against Belgian pair Sander Gille and Jordan Vliegen. Dan Evans, he kept the British bid alive as a beat world number 11 David Goffin. That was show face after Cameron Norrie lost for 2 sets to veteran Steve Dassis. All right, now what we get from the top this very o'clock for news on the hour for Plus TV Africa. For better and plenty information, Mona follow us at Plus TV Africa for Facebook, for Twitter, and for Instagram. And it will make sense when I subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We will still the summer and plenty of that to read them as time they go. My name, I promise, Nero. And I thank now so that they join us on well done.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like an
Alibaba
now?
Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
I can still make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IO.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi, like,
Sleeping early.
Goal 10 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals speaks largely about eliminating inequality amongst countries and peoples. The United Nations clearly recognizes that businesses can also exacerbate inequality by being complicit in perpetrating biases and discrimination. The question, however, is how exactly does this resonate with Nigeria? Lagos is the most populous city in Nigeria and has millions of persons. Among these are little persons also, often found in Osborn in Ikoyi. They are trying to make a living as they grapple with inequality and discrimination because of their physical appearances. Wisdom Abba and his wife Joanne are one of the little persons who moved from other parts of the country into Lagos to make a living by getting employed despite their physical inadequacies. They say that in Lagos, they had hoped to win the battle against discrimination, but this fight, however, seems to be a lost one as they are constantly marginalized by some employers while hunting for jobs.
Sometimes, somebody will promise me at where I'm selling market. Just with drive car, we say we find work for me. I will pull up on that person. At last, the person will not find a job because promise me. Many of them.
When I want to look for a job, they said they can't give me a job, that I'm too short. Then I should go.
This couple is not the only little person seeking an end to discrimination in job hunting. Nkubi and Shapali are celebrity broadcasters. They too say that they have had a painful taste of societal rejection.
I got called up for an interview. One of the management now walked up to me and told me that, look, I am sincerely very sorry. You are not the kind of person we are looking for.
My sister, growing up, to be like, Daddy, where do you get this thing from?
Though Shapali comes across as a very confident woman, she says growing up was torturous.
I'm talking to you, I don't know my mom until now. She ran away because I am a dog.
She adds that her self-esteem was dealt a devastating blow for even thinking of marrying a tall man and begetting tall offspring as her mother-in-law rejected her.
I had a relationship that the guy, took me home to the mom. And I was there in their living room, seated, and the guy went to call the mom. The mom came and I was like, where? Sorry, oh my dear, sorry. Where is the wife my son said he brought? And I was like, it's me. And stop joking now, how will it be you? My son came up to come that he brought somebody, I was not accepted.
Bash and Iyatokpe are 9-to-5 persons. They reveal that they have also been treated with inequality countless times.
My own junior brother, the one that follows me, he also thought I'm kind of like a junior to him. We usually fight every day.
I go one place. I say then they find person will go sweep here. They say not true. I say I won't do it. They say, you do it. Which hand do you want to take sweep here?
With only 12 years left to expunge inequality by 2030, only little is known if Nigeria will truly wipe out this menace. But Wisdom and his wife Joanne Nkubi, Shapali, Bash, and Iyatokpe continue to hope that someday they will be treated like every other human being. I am Mary Chinda for Plus TV Africa.
Hello and welcome. This is Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa, and it's the first Monday of the year and also the first Monday of the month. I've got Destiny Onogbore on the show today, and we'll be running through the stories making the round in the world of sports. Welcome to the show, Destiny.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Of course, it was an interesting weekend for sports, from the home front to the international scene, but then we started from the local scene, and it's all about the Nigeria Professional Football League. And we saw match day 12 matches go down in different centers across the country, and we had one away win, and that's for Aqua United, who went away to get all 3 points against Jigawa Golden Stars. And Heartland defeated Rangers International 2-1 in the Oriental Derby. And Kano Pillars played out a 1-0 draw with Warri Wolves, and Kwara United beat Abia Warriors 2-0. And Tabletoppers Plateau United taught Enyimba a footballing lesson as they won at home 4-0. And Nasarawa United beat FC Fanyoba 3-2. Dakada FC beat Adamawa United by 4-1. And Wiki Tourist played out a 1-0 draw with Katsina United. Lobby Stars beat Sunshine Stars 2-0, and MFM lost 2-0 away from home to Rivers United. I mean, Destiny, we saw interesting games over the weekend, and of course, the biggest one for me was the Oriental Derby, which Heartland defeated Rangers International. But then, how come Enyimba lost scandalously 4-0 to Plateau United?
Well, you can't be playing the group leaders and you expect them to lose. Now, I strongly believe that the amount of competitions they are playing, Enyimba and Rangers, it has made them to lose their focus in the PFL. I was looking at what happened yesterday in Heartland. I expected more from Rangers, but looking at how they have performed for the past, since the beginning of the league, it was nothing. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Now they are on the verge of, let me just say they have been relegated because the season is about to end. They have played 12 matches. How many matches? They have, of course, but how many can they expect to lift them up? Because the guys that are in front, Nasarawa United, they still want to leave that relegation zone. And for Plateau United, come on, Enyimba, they should have done better. But looking at who they were playing, these guys, they are just focused mainly on the NPFL. Then they got their goals correct. So for Enyimba, I know they are going to come back from this shameful, because it's a shameful defeat to them, but they are going to come back from it. But for Rangers, I don't know, but they feel like they have had it. Football has actually tired them. They don't want to play football anymore. So That's it.
Well, looking at that result, you said that the number of matches they played. How many matches have they played on the continent? It's just a CAF Confederation Cup, and they have time to rest and play the local games. So losing that way to Plateau United, I never saw that coming. I think it was not a good performance for Enyimba. And for Rangers, we can agree that even before they sacked their former coach, they had a shambolic performance, and still under the services of the new manager. Now, talking about Salisu Yusuf, is still not getting things right with the club. So I wonder if Rangers will get to survive this season, and Enyimba, if they can bounce back from that loss, to get to probably finish the season in good state. And talking about Heartland, they defeated the Rangers 2-1. And Kwara United beat Abia Warriors 2-0. MFM losing away from home. We've seen this thing over time. I think the only away win we got was Aqua United, who went away to Jigawa Golden Stars to get 3 points. That game ended 1-0. But how come it's so difficult for away teams to go out to get victories in the NPFL?
Well, I think we are going back to that era where the home teams only had to win. But MFM started this season on a high note because they were the first team to score the away goal. But looking at where they are now, they lost their match yesterday. They lost the last time. And if it continues like this, they are still going to be losing matches. Now, for the away team scoring goals, I think it's their mentality where they have to believe that the home teams, they have more advantage than the away teams because they are playing at home and they have a lot of fans cheering out for them, but which is not the case. Looking at how MFM started the season, they were able to score the first away goal, which actually they won. But looking at how they have come to play now, people don't, the away teams, I don't know, but they have a little bit step backwards because they don't feel like scoring anymore, and they have. I think they've left all the goals for the home games, just like Enyimba yesterday now and the Rangers. Look at Rangers could have won that match, but it was 1-1, but they let Heartland score. So they just felt these guys, they are in their home, so let's just give them the respect in their home.
I don't think it's about giving them respect. Of course, our home advantage also counts when it comes to playing football. But then for the guys that won yesterday, good one for them. Now let's look at how the table, what the table looks like in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Plateau United still top that one. After 12 matches, they have 24 points. And Lobby Stars are second, have a game in hand, and they are on 21 points, second position. Rivers United comes third with 21 points in the third position after 12 matches. And Dakada FC, 20 points in fourth position. Then Aqua United are on 19 points, fifth position. Enyimba has dropped to the 13th position with 15 points. Not so good a result for Enyimba. And for MFM, they are somewhere in the 8th position, still in the top 10 in the Nigerian Professional Football League, 8 points with 16 points. Now looking at the relegation threatened teams, we have Jigawa Golden Stars, Nasarawa United, Adamawa United, and Rangers International. And it looks quite impossible for Rangers to survive this season, but then anything can happen in football. Rangers have 6 points, 20th on the table, the bottom of the table. If they get to win the remainder of their games, they just might find themselves surviving relegation, but it's looking very difficult because between Rangers and the 17th placed Jigawa Golden Stars, it's actually 4 points gap between both teams, so it's going to be a difficult one for Rangers International this season. And like Destiny said, she feels like they're already relegated from the Nigeria Professional Football League, but let's give them a chance. Anything can happen.
Giving them a chance. Just like you said, how many competitions have they played in? Let's not forget they are playing in the CAF and they are not still getting good results. So what if they pull out from the competition and focus solely on the NPFL? Which is quite possible. Then they will know that, okay, we don't have matches to play on Sunday. We don't have an outstanding match to play in the NPFL. We just have to focus on playing the 19 guys in the NPFL. Then possibly they can move to the 17th or the 16th position. But if they play this competition and they are still playing the CAF, there is no way they are going to. This is relegation for them. They have been, let's just say they have been relegated. And that's why United, they are not coming back.
Okay, let's see how that goes for Rangers International. And Kano Pillars are on the 12th position with 15 points. It's getting really interesting in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Another interesting tournament has to be the FA Cup, where a lot of upsets happen. There's this magic that surrounds the FA Cup. And of course, talking about the FA Cup, let's talk about Curtis Jones, who scored his first senior goal for Liverpool with an astonishing long-range effort as the Reds knocked Merseyside rivals Everton out of the FA Cup in the third round. And James Milner was first off with a hamstring injury in the 9th minute, adding to Liverpool's injury crisis. And the defeat for Everton means that the Toffees have not beaten Liverpool in any competition since 2010, and they have not won at Anfield since 1999. Such long time for you not to get a victory against these guys, talking about the Reds. And Jurgen Klopp has shown us over time that with or without the senior boys, he can do it. Forget what happened against Aston Villa, but this man knows how to handle his team and he knows how to get the results. But it was a shameful performance for Everton.
It was not really shameful, but
it was a shameful for you to lose
Everton could have scored in the first 10 minutes of the first half.
They could have even won that game.
They just wasted their chances. Because looking at the young lads of Liverpool, those guys are also ballers. Let's not forget that Jurgen Klopp is really injecting them with the club vaccine. Because he has the club vaccine now. Yeah. So Everton should have won that match when the game first started. Let's say 2-0 in first half. But they are still lacking confidence and strikers. Calvert-Lewin he actually got the opportunities yesterday, but he wasted them. You don't give opportunities to Firmino. He's going to kill you in your goal post. But the thing is, Everton, they still lack strikers. So they need to get new strikers and just focus on how they are going to move forward in the Premier League. So let's just leave Liverpool and their wahala, because Liverpool have really disgraced all the clubs in England. But for Klopp yesterday, that was a phenomenal guys he used. I've never seen anybody in the EPL and even in the FA distribute so much young guys, because in fact he's having the first bench, second bench, and even the third bench right now. So they can beat anybody that comes their way. Wow,
it's quite interesting right there. Of course, Jurgen Klopp had a lot to say concerning the player, talking about Curtis Jones, who scored that stunner against Everton. But then Carlo Ancelotti, not so good result for him in the FA Cup, because we all expected him to win that game against Liverpool, knowing that Liverpool was going to field a fringe team, let me put it that way, because they have to concentrate more on the EPL. But it's looking likely for Liverpool now to go on to win probably a treble this season. Anything is possible.
It's not possible.
But I think Destiny is actually on the field. She doesn't want to support Liverpool on this one. But hey, if you watch how Leicester City won the league, at some point, it felt like it was an impossible task for them to win the league. And they kept on going game after game, picking up the results, winning 1-0, getting draws and all that. They didn't lose so many games. Liverpool is doing the same thing. They've not lost. All through 2019, they didn't lose in the EPL. Now they started again 2020. They're winning games. And these are the kind of games that they need to ensure that they get to win a trophy. This season, 1-0 victories and other games in the EPL, gradually they will get to win titles. Why would you say that Liverpool cannot win the FA Cup? Is there any team you're looking at to win the EPL?
There are a lot of teams in England. Now, let me take you back to Leicester City. When they actually won the league, nobody expected that they were going to win that league, because it was a one-season wonder, let me say. Now, for Liverpool, for the past 3 seasons, we have seen how they've performed. Man City was just their catalyst. Like, they were the ones that were stopping them from moving forward. So now it is their time, and we knew that. Of course, we've actually been to know that that Liverpool, they were coming to take the cup. It's not something that we say, okay, let's just wait for the next 10 years, 5 years. But for the past 3 seasons, they have come up to say that we can contend for this league, and this season has just been their season. Now, coming to win the FA Cup, Manchester City is there, Manchester United is there, so Leicester City is there.
We have Chelsea.
Let's not forget that there was a season in 2015 now, Wigan, they defeated Manchester City and they won the league. So it is not by saying because you are champions of the EPL or you are champions of England, the FA Cup is yours. Liverpool, they still have a lot of teams to beat. Imagine Derby County defeated Crystal Palace yesterday in their own house, 1-0. So anything in the FA Cup can happen. I was expecting Everton to beat them here because they had the strongest teams, but they still lost.
Well, it's FA Cup. It's all magical when it comes to that competition. And talking about the 4th round draws, it take place later today by 7:35 p.m. And Arsenal has to play their game today, and they will up against Leeds United. And it's looking like a victory for Arsenal. But you know, you never can tell the Arsenal that will turn up later today against Leeds. But all fingers are pointing towards that game. And afterwards, we get to see the draws to know which of these teams will play the next round. And for the 4th round matches, they're scheduled to take place between the 24th and 26th 27th of January, and the full fixtures will be released, and I'll get to know who Liverpool will get to take on. For me, I think I'm supporting Liverpool on this one to go ahead and win the
You're
FA
not a Liverpool
Cup.
fan. Just say the truth.
Yeah, of course, I'm a football fan. I support teams who do well, but I watch all the games not to familiarize myself with any particular club. I just have to remain unbiased when it comes to watching these games. Now, since talking about the FA Cup, now let's go over to Tottenham Hotspur. Jose Mourinho is not finding things funny, and their poor form continued as they were held 1-1 at Middlesbrough in the FA Cup third round. And Lucas Moura saved Spurs from a cup upset after he scored the equalizer against Middlesbrough. Now, Mourinho, I think we said this sometime last week, that we were asking the question, has he lost that bite at Everton? Has he, at Tottenham Hotspur, has he lost that bite, that special one tag that we've called him? And playing that 1-0 draw against Middlesbrough wasn't such a good result, and so he somehow blamed it on Harry Kane's injury.
Mourinho always has someone to say about his loss, but I feel like he has... Tottenham, they have lost their confidence. That's the first to start with. And Mourinho is not getting the formation right. In all of the competitions he has played in, he has conceded up to 20 goals, if I'm correct. Because you cannot be a top manager and be conceding goals like that when you know you're supposed to be winning. Yesterday, everybody expected Tottenham to take that match by 3-0 or 4-0. But look at what happened. They played against a relegation side, Middlesbrough, who are currently not even in the top 10 in the championship, and they were held 1-1. So it is so unfortunate for Jose Mourinho to be coming out to say that he's blaming his loss, that Harry Kane is not fit, is injured for the match. You have a lot of players to play from. You have Sessegnon. What is happening in Tottenham? Only Mourinho actually has the answer to that question. Because as it stands now, he's on the verge of losing his job. They cannot say that they are coming out to say we want to let him go, but he knows that if he continues like this, he's not going to make it to the top 4 to Champions League next season. He's not going to make it to Europa League next season. Definitely, he's going to lose his job in the first season.
Well, we don't know what he has in the contract with Tottenham Hotspur. Probably they just want to let the season fly. Then,
but we have not seen Tottenham like this in almost 5 years.
That's what I was getting to that point now. Can we compare Jose Mourinho now, probably with the games he has played so far? Can we compare him to Mauricio Pochettino? Because the Mourinho we know, we used to see Mourinho as a defensive coach. What happened to that defensive style of playing football? We've not seen it with Tottenham Hotspur.
Nobody plays defensive football anymore. You defend and you attack. It's a two-way thing.
That has always been his style. But
now Mourinho has actually just fallen back into the defense. You just score one and you stay back.
But that's what I'm saying. We've not seen that defensive play with Tottenham Hotspur ever since he took the job. Because when he got the job, my analysis was that, okay, how can he make Tottenham become a defensive team? But since he took the job, I have not seen one defensive play from Jose Mourinho and Tottenham Hotspur, and that's the sickening thing about the way the club is going. Though he has complained about the defenders that he has, that he wants a couple of players to come in. January transfer window has opened, nothing has been done yet at Tottenham Hotspur, and the fans are even calling for the head of the owners of the club that they should leave the club, that they are the ones bugging the club, not Jose Mourinho. The fans are not even complaining about Jose Mourinho, they're complaining about the board. What is the way forward?
The board actually, they are not, but they actually make the decisions, but the coach is the person that makes the formation and the arrangements of the players. Now, I don't think calling out the board is going to solve the issue in Tottenham right now. For me, sacking Pochettino was an error. Because since he was the one that led them from where they were, because nobody thought Tottenham they were going to ever be top 4 in England, but Pochettino brought them out of their shadows and gave them that name. And for almost 3 seasons, they were always in the top 3, top 4, going to Champions League. United were not going, Chelsea were not going. These guys were going year in, year out. And now you come and sack him just because he's having a wrong season. To me, that was still a wrong idea. It was not. Now bringing in Jose Mourinho, who has actually had issues with big clubs, not signing, like he's going to have that issue in Tottenham. But I don't know the contract is signed, but I don't think the fans calling out the owners of the club is going to solve anything. The issue is going to start with Jose Mourinho, what he's doing at the club, and it's just between him and the players.
Well, for club owners, you don't get to sack players, you get to sack the manager when things are not going so well with the club. But let's see, we'll keep our fingers crossed on the situation at Tottenham Hotspur. I hope it improves, and if it doesn't improve, let's see if the board will still stick by Jose Mourinho to lead them forward or they will let him go. Now, so we're talking about the stories that we have for you in the world of sports. Let's go over to Sweden, and it's really, really crazy what's happening with Zlatan Ibrahimovic statue, which is outside the Malmo FF Stadium. It has been cut down after vandals appeared to saw it off at the ankles, and only the 2 feet were left on the plinth, while the rest of the body was left toppled over a security fence in the latest attack on the structure. And the face of the statue was covered by a shirt with the Swedish badge on it, while the words "take away" were also sprayed on the ground close by. And a spokesman for the Malmo Municipality Sports and Recreation Department said the statue has been taken away for repairs. They also said that when they repair it, they will bring it back and mount it. But the truth is, the fans do not want the statue there. And I'm wondering, why throw your anger, why express your anger on destroying a statue that was built to probably celebrate a man who is known to be a legend in England, in Sweden, and of course a legend in Malmo, a club that he played for about 20 years. Why do that to Zlatan Ibrahimovic? It's business. He has decided to put his stake, invest in another club. Why come out? He's not even playing for the other club. He's not playing for the rival club. He just invested in them. But why are the fans even doing this? I think it's really, really an insult to the person of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Oh,
football fans, they have become crazy all over the world. Let's just say that as a fact. They have become really, really crazy. Now, Ibrahimovic investing in Hammarby, I think it was a business move, not to just go and say, I want to retaliate against Malmo, but they have actually not done anything to him to say he wants to retaliate anyway. Now, it's business. If Dangote wants to have shares in Plateau United, are you going to say that the fans in Kano Pillars, they are going to get angry because a businessman is buying shares in another club?
They just might.
They might get angry, but look at where Kano Pillars are right now. Maybe 5 years ago, he was going to buy shares, but not right now, because it's what you are seeing now that gives you the upper hand to get your shares. Now, Ibrahimovic saw something in Hammarby and said, okay, let me invest in this team. And at that time, Malmo, they were not there. So Malmo are, okay, looking at the first top teams in Sweden right now, you have, I think, Hammarby, they are third in the league. Then the Malmo is second. Yeah. So looking at this, I don't think Ibrahimovic thought about it as if, let me go to my home club and buy shares. It's my village. It's where I grew up from. But sometimes, what is going to come out of that club that you're investing in matters. So if he felt like I was going to invest in Hammarby and it's going to bring me more income, more money, why not? But for football fans, they have become really, really crazy. So if the Swedish Football Federation, they can do something about this, putting that statue back is going to be removed repeated times, because I don't think removing it and putting it back is going to stop the fans. They are even going to remove that waste, and they are going to destroy the full stand if nothing is done about it.
I think better security will be put in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I'm actually looking through to see if he has responded to what has happened so far, but nothing from Ibrahimovic at all. And for him, he has actually signed for AC Milan, and he just might be playing later of AC Milan, the club that he played for some time ago, and he wants to play for that club. Things are not working so well for AC Milan, but of course he wants to help them bring back the memories and of course lead AC Milan to glory days. Destiny doesn't believe that Ibrahimovic can lead AC Milan back to Champions League football.
Where are they leading them to? He can't lead them anywhere. He can't lead them anywhere. First of all, let's say this: they have actually been banned from European competitions. So where is he leading them to? Even if they finish fourth or they finish